I set up 2 trail cameras at the front of the property to see if I could capture the kangaroos as they came through the property. Over the last 30 years, we used to have them regular visitors. In fact, they used to just actually all lie down in front of the house. But as time moved on, they tended to move a little bit further afield, and they now reside across the street in a neighbour's property. He has a lot more grass than we do, and they all seem to hang around there. So I thought I'll set the trail camera. I know they still come through here because we see the evidence of them, but they don't come to visit like they used to. As I said, I had 2 trail cameras set up, and wasn't quite sure what their path, their route was through the property. So this is the first few scenes that I gathered on the 4th of April 2025. We can see this one, there's a female here, and they're just sort of grazing towards the edge of our fire break. Behind the kangaroo that you can see is a fence, and that's the neighbour's fence into the neighbouring property on our side. After viewing that footage, I decided that I would move at least one of the cameras to what I thought would be a more advantageous angle. And this is me actually standing in front of the cameras to trigger them off to make sure that they would still work. And we'll see the results in a minute or two, or a couple of seconds actually. So this camera angle seemed to be a little bit better as far as centering where they were. They seem to have preferred this little area here, although you can see off to the right hand side behind a tree trunk is another kangaroo if you look closely. Anyway, we'll watch this little guy for a bit and see what happens. They actually spend a lot of time just looking and listening without actually moving very much. You see the head move there, but they're always constantly listening. And we're living on actually a street now which as the months go by, we seem to be getting more and more traffic going up the street. And so when you drive, you've got to watch out in case one of these little guys pops out in front of you. I keep saying these little guys, but they're actually females. These are females, you can tell from the size of them, because when you get a big buck kangaroo, they are massive. This particular piece of footage was taken about 7:20, 7:22 in the morning, and if you look very closely you can tell this is a female because right in the front is a bulge, and there is obviously a joey in that pouch. You can see it hanging down between the two big horizontal sections of her leg. You'll notice that she's looking through the bush. She's looking in a particular angle, and where she's looking right down is a corner of our property, and across the road is their, what they would probably consider to be their home paddock now, because that's where they rest and lie about in the sun. So she's probably looking, thinking, might be time to go back home, it being nearly 7:30 in the morning. She's obviously thinking about going back home now to her home paddock. As she bounds away, she'll stop and she'll have a little bit more of a listen, and then eventually she will bound down our fire break and over the neighbour's fence, and then probably through his gate. There she goes, through his gate, over the fence, through the gate, and across to her own paddock, where her companions are probably sleeping or doing their thing. And of course, Tilly, who likes to go and check out what's been happening around her own property here, has discovered that there has been a kangaroo here during the night. So she's going to have a bit of a look around and find out what's been happening. No doubt looking for kangaroo poo, which she thinks is a delicacy. Just from watching these scenes, you can see that this our property is a bit of a thoroughfare for these kangaroos, and we are on the edge of a national park, but that doesn't really explain why they sort of tend to live actually within suburbia, because they do. There's quite a mob as I said, they used to come around our property, but then they sort of moved out across the road to a neighbour's property, and that's where they all seem to stay. And the national park is only probably 200 metres up the road from us, but there they are. You might also notice in this particular shot that there is a light above where the kangaroo's eyes are. That's the actual infrared light on the other trail camera, which I set up as well. It obviously clicks on and off when there's some movement. Well, as you can see from the previous few shots, this is a veritable highway running through the property here. And if you wait for a minute, there will be a kangaroo appear off to from the left to the right, and he's going to bound right over that fence in front of us. You can see a fence pole there just to the right of the kangaroo's head, and if you watch closely, there's going to be another kangaroo that comes past and jumps straight over that fence. Here he goes. Boing, over, going home. Oh, I think I'll follow. Here we go. I might just go down to the road. And of course, a little bit later that day, Tilly had to go and smell, because she said, oh, there's been kangaroos here on my property. Crikey. Oh, if I could only catch them.